You are listening to the Healthy Leader Podcast with Tracy Fisher, episode number 20.
Welcome to the Healthy Leader Podcast, where it's all about optimizing your health, energy, and performance for your mind and your body. And now, your host, Master Coach Tracy Fisher.
Hello there. How are you today? I hope that you are amazing. I will tell you that I'm almost a little giddy right now. I was just looking over my notes for this, and I cannot wait to share this with you. Today's topic is really powerful. In fact, I think that it might be one of the most powerful concepts that I have ever learned. And it helps me to frame life in general, just everyday life. And it is especially useful when life happens, when things get thrown your way that are unexpected, when your family member gets diagnosed with COVID, and then your company is asking for something new for you to create. And oh, by the way, it's also tax season. It just feels like life is happening faster than we can handle it. And it's also applicable in those times when life happens in terms of going on vacation or having people come stay with you, or when we are going to events or celebrating and we're like, oh, we just had to engage in this particular event. And so people say life just happened. So the question is, how can you choose your best and right action, whatever that is for you, in the midst of life happening? How can you eat right when you're on vacation? How can you keep exercising and moving when it feels like there's too much to do and not enough time to do it? How can you keep a semblance of your morning routine that you know is very grounding for you when you're not sleeping in the middle of the night and you just want to get a little bit more sleep? How do you, in the midst of it all, someone just asked me, how do I do it? I keep wanting to do my right thing. I keep planning to do it, and I keep failing at it. And what they're really asking is, how do we align our actions with what we want most over what we want more? And I'm going to say that again. How do we choose what we want most, as in what we want most in terms of the long run and what we want for our life, instead of what we want more, as in what we want more of right now in this moment? And what we're really talking about here is delayed gratification. It's choosing not to purchase the cute dress online because you're saving up for something else. It's choosing to get up and to get to your exercise instead of laying in bed. And when you are on vacation or holiday, or there's a celebration, or life feels overwhelming, when you are delaying gratification, it starts to feel like its own form of hell, if you will, if you don't know how to handle it. And the solution, the thing that I want to share with you the most, is found in one key phrase. And that key phrase is decision points. And each one of those words means something: decision and points. And the decision piece happens in your mind. It happens really quickly. You make a decision. You choose with your mind and your heart to take action one way or the other. And that's key. And then the second piece is the point. The specific point in time, as in the second or the millisecond when you make that decision. That's what it boils down to. And everything that we discuss in the inner circle and the work that I do with clients is about the decision point. So I want to share with you today how you can today begin using this concept of decision points to stay in alignment no matter what craziness the world is throwing at you. And I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do it. So the first thing that you get to do is to identify your decision point. And a good way to do that is to use your past, to think back to a time or times when you did not choose your most and you went straight for the more desserts, the more alcohol, the more food, more of what you want in that moment instead of your most. So as you go through this, I want you to think of yourself as an archaeologist. Just be really curious about this particular human being that you can see in the mirror and their behavior patterns. You're like, okay, exactly when and how does this person break out of their healthy routines? And I want for you to get specific here. You're not going for the I overeat when I'm on vacation or on a cruise. You want the details. You want to know that you are actually eating healthily all day long when you're on vacation, and then when the ice cream or the dessert cart comes around, that's when you lose control. Or instead of just saying, I tend to shut down when I'm around my in-laws, I want for you to look for when and how you do it. Perhaps it's an hour in and you can start to feel yourself feeling a bit restless, talking about topics that you do not particularly find very enticing. And then a few minutes later, you feel like you just cannot sit still and you have this really strong urge to pull out your phone and to crawl into it and to get out of this intense boredom. The idea here is to investigate what is going on in your world, in your immediate world. And I call this your horizontal line. And so I want for you to draw the research that you've just done as that horizontal line. And that represents the environment that you're in. And then you identify the specific decision point as a tiny circle right in the center of that line. That's your decision point. It is a specific moment in time in your life. So that's the first step. Identify your external horizontal line and your decision point within it. So you've just focused on the external environment, and now you're going to bring your archaeological tools within to the internal environment, as in within you. And to symbolize this, I'd like for you to draw a straight vertical line right up from that decision point, from that circle on your horizontal line, and then also down. Now, if you are following, you will see that you have basically drawn a cross or a T, a small letter T. And that vertical line represents you and what you are thinking and how you are feeling at that specific moment in time, right at that moment. And so remember, you are still an archaeologist. You still are just in curiosity mode. You are not judging. You are just digging in within that human being and seeing what is going on in there at that exact moment. Now, here's the thing. We are not looking for what should be going on or what we think we should be doing or what we should be thinking or any of that. We are not shoulding on ourselves, S-H-O-U-L-D. We're not shoulding on ourselves. We are just looking for the facts. We are digging for what is really going on in your mind and your body at that particular moment in time. And that's represented by that vertical line. Now, here's the thing. This is not as easy as I'm making it sound. If it were easy, you'd have already figured it out and it wouldn't be a challenge for you. You wouldn't even be thinking about this point in time. So all we're doing right now is we're looking for and listening and discovering what's actually going on with you in that particular moment in time. So for example, if you are committed to not drinking, and then your moment is when you're out to dinner with all of your friends who drink, and the waiter turns to you after she's taken everyone else's order, and she says, "And what can I get for you, ma'am?" And everyone is just sitting there waiting to hear if you're going to order your normal drink or if you're going to get something a little more fun. That is the moment where you want to look within. What is going on within you at that particular moment? Are you actually feeling a little peer pressure to drink because you don't want people to feel bad? Or do you not want them to think that you're an alcoholic, so you're just going to order something? Or do you not care about any of that at all and you just want to relax and enjoy yourself and have a good time because you've had a long day? Go to that point in time, that moment right before your order comes out of your mouth and see what is. So those are the first two steps, and they're symbolized in that horizontal line of the external environment, and then you are that vertical line. And we have zeroed in on that point of the intersection where you meet that moment in time, and that's where you get your binoculars out. Now, I will tell you that I love this little symbol and this explanation for where we as individuals meet our lives and our external circumstances, because this represents the moments in time where we have, this is where I'm getting really excited, we have this amazing opportunity to realize our potential. These are the moments when we can take the vision of who we want to be, the vision of who we know we can be, and bring that person to life right at that moment. And this is so critical. And I'll tell you why. Because those moments that are these amazing gifts do not feel like gifts. In fact, they feel horrible. They feel like restlessness and discomfort and intense cravings and all sorts of yuck. And the last thing that we want to do in those moments is to go within and to explore and to dig in. And those moments are like really poorly wrapped gifts. It's like getting this beautiful, one-of-a-kind, sparkling gift that you've always wanted, wrapped in stinky garbage paper. And those gifts are only offered up at certain times. They're only offered up when the horizontal and the vertical elements, the internal and the external environments align right at that point, right at your decision point. And this point is so powerful that I've actually integrated it into my signature. When I sign my name, I always sign it with a small t instead of a capital T. If you ever get an email or a note from me, it's not that I don't know that my name and that proper names are supposed to be capitalized in terms of grammar. I sign my name with that small t on purpose, and I do it to remind myself of this concept, that the way that I choose to run my life, the opportunities that I have happen in moments. When I sign my name like this, it reminds me to slow down the horizontal plane, to slow life down, and to draw that vertical line and to stand there at that intersection, to close my eyes and to go within. And this process, if you can imagine, it kind of reminds me of the movie The Matrix, when they do those really slow motion movements. I love that visualization because that's how I feel. I slowly draw that horizontal line and witness what is going on around me. And then I draw that vertical line and I go within and see what is going on within me. And this is a really important thing and a very powerful and private thing that I do. And I do it when I am frenzied about a deadline. And I draw this T, this cross, and go to the center, and I remember the why behind my work and how much I love it. And I do it when I'm on vacation and I feel myself feeling like I have to take care of everybody and make sure that everybody is having a great time. And I notice what is going on, and then I come within and I get centered and I get to be at peace with my grown adult children and their decisions, and understanding that they get to do whatever it is that they want to do, and so does my family, and I create peace in those moments. It is one of the most powerful and beautiful processes or practices that I engage in, and I love sharing this with you all. And drum roll, it's not always easy to do that, to come to that intersection. And that brings us to the final piece, which is to decide. To decide in that moment whether or not to unwrap the stinky gift. To decide to choose what you want most. And what you want most is what's inside of that box and that gift. It's a healthy body, a stronger relationship, a sense of peace. It's creating confidence and trust in yourself that no matter what is going on in that horizontal plane, no matter where you find yourself standing or what is going on, that you always have the opportunity to choose what you want most over what you want more in that moment. And what you want more can be a strong urge for alcohol or for food or for the dessert, or to say yes when you know that you don't have enough time to actually follow through. It can be any type of energy that is pulling you away from what you know is the most beneficial for you. And that decision to unwrap the gift and choose what you want most is the answer to your question of how do you stay on protocol during your vacation? How do you keep your marriage at the forefront when work is busier than ever? How do you enjoy and celebrate weddings and birthdays and the holidays and still celebrate you during the moment and afterwards? That's how you do it. You decide. And you get to decide over and over and over again. And this is the opposite of white knuckling it until vacation or the event or the party or whatever is going on is over. This is daring to show up, to lead yourself in the moments when everyone else is doing whatever they want. So that's it. It's that simple. And again, simple does not mean easy, not by a long stretch. This is a practice. So I absolutely recommend that you share this process with someone, share this podcast with someone, find a partner to support you, and to go through these 3 amazing and beautifully brutal steps. And the way that I'd like for you to do this is to now think forward. Think about the horizontal plane in terms of your future. Go to a future moment in time and identify the exact moment that you know will be challenging for you. Figure out where you are. What are you doing? Who is with you? Define that horizontal line and then zero in on a very specific moment. That moment right before you are going to take action. And right there is where you find step number 2. That's where you draw that vertical line. This is where you draw yourself. And this is the time where you imagine who you want to be in that exact moment. Imagine what your ideal self would be thinking. Would they feel grateful and just enjoy the experience and the people? Perhaps they would take a few minutes to just look at all the food or the people and just observe and take it all in and enjoy the energy and the presentation of it all. So get detailed about that specific point in time. And then finally, imagine exactly what that person would do. Decide ahead of time. Decide that when someone offers up this huge dessert tray that they're just going to smile and politely say, no, thank you. Or that when their buddy's like, hey, just have one, they'll say, hey, thanks for the offer, but I'm really enjoying this seltzer water. And then what I want for you to do is to catapult yourself beyond the event or the vacation or that moment. And imagine yourself relaxed and happy and confident and really basking in the joy of how amazing it feels to have done what you wanted most. There is nothing better than that feeling. And that is the feeling that I'm experiencing right now. It is amazing. It's going beyond surviving and doing your right thing and following your protocol and actually thriving and feeling fantastic and amazing about what you have done. And I want for you to experience that amazing feeling. So go forth and create it. Create the most amazing life you can. And remember that you are at any moment in time able to bring yourself to that moment in time, to that decision point, and to create the best life that you possibly can. The life that you absolutely deserve. Hey there, if you are ready to take your well-beingness to the next level, come visit thewellness.coach where I've got lots of free resources. And make sure that you type in thewellness.coach, not .com, and I will see you there.